Hi, my name is Jim Hilborn,
And I'm Tom Dinas.
and we
are the
Small Business Doctors.
And I've been taking care of business every day. Taking care of business every way. I've been taking care of business. It's all mine. Taking care of business and working overtime.
Anyway, we're going to talk about one of my favorite topics tonight.
We can't talk about that on the air, Tom.
Oh, well, let me change my outline here a little bit. Just a moment.
Give us a moment here.
What was I thinking? Anyway, no, we're going to talk about goal setting. That woke you up.
Oh,
now.
goal setting.
Yeah. Otherwise, you kind of starts nodding out about halfway through the program. Anyway, yeah, it's a lot of times it's utilized or not really recognized by the small business community. You kind of get into a flow and you kind of jump in there and you're fighting the alligators and the IRS and the banks and customers are upset and employees are problem, and you lose a focus.
You do.
And the business starts controlling you rather than you controlling the business. One of the ways you can avoid some of these problems and make your life better and make your business more profitable is a good program of goal setting. Now, I've always been a fan of it, and I've actually taken several programs.
I was going to say, you see seminars all the
Oh,
time.
yeah.
Going to set goals. We're setting
Yeah.
goals for this. We're going to set goals. It always sounds good. It always sounds good.
But you need a plan, and you need program, and you need some structure to it.
So we need to set a goal of setting some goals
Yes,
here. Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
You know,
baby steps. You need some.
Yeah,
That's
little
right.
baby steps. So anyway, what I thought we'd start with, and the reason I'm starting with this is because of frustration I had in my marriage, in which my ex-wife said, "I want to know how much money I'm going to have available every month to spend." And I, being a goal-driven person, said, "I need to know how much you need to run the household." And
Exactly.
she goes, "No, I want to know how much I'm going to have available to work with." And I said, "No, I need to know how much." Because in my mind, I need to know how much I needed to make. And if I knew how much I needed to make for the house, then I could know how much, and I knew how much it was necessary to run my business.
Right.
Then I could start setting, okay, I need so many clients, I need to do so many tax returns, consulting gigs, whatever. And so I always took, that goal. I would set that goal. Okay, this is what I need to do, and every year I would set, my goals out, and then I charted it, and I'd have a graph, and it's how far as I went from year to year. And I worked much better off of that. It helped me focus, and I didn't really utilize it as much as I could have because I got lost in the battles of the day-to-day life. So what I'm going to try to do is lay out a format for people
All right.
that if you follow can really help you analyzing what you need to do and how you need to do it. All right? Seem reasonable to you?
Absolutely seems
All right,
reasonable.
let's go for it.
Okay,
All
well,
right,
wait a minute. Now, what do we do first?
Well, you got to.
Yeah,
We're
I
going to start
was
with
gonna tell you
yourself.
that anyway, but all right. Start.
What yourself personally?
All right, me.
All right.
I like that.
It's all about you, Jim. It
all right.
always comes back to that, doesn't it?
Why
The
not?
diva.
Why
And
not?
yes.
Yeah.
But anyway, but it's true. Okay. What you do is, all right, what do I want? And one of the programs I went through is you start off by making a list of everything you possibly want. Everything. You just sit down, you start writing. And, I want a Mercedes, and I want this,
Okay.
and I want a house with a pool. Whether you can achieve it or not is irrelevant. You
Okay,
just
so
start
don't
writing
even-
this down.
We're not talking common sense here. We're just saying whatever you want.
Yeah.
Whatever you
yeah.
want. Okay.
And let your mind wander. Let it go. This is
Okay.
a good time. You don't want to be constricted. Well, I got 5 minutes to visualize everything I ever wanted in life.
Yeah, money
And
is
you
no
want-
object.
Yeah, money's no object, time's no object. You just keep writing it down. And what this does is helps clarify what you want to accomplish. Okay, if you want to, and it doesn't have to be all things. The
Okay, I
best
was gonna
things
ask
in
that
life,
question. All right.
best things in life aren't things. You might say, I want better health. I want to lose weight. Get my blood pressure down. I want to send my kids to college. I want to be able to take vacation to Europe with my wife. Want to
Okay.
do this,
Okay.
everything. Better relationships, more. Better spiritual life if you want.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, you just let your mind open up and just write it all down. Okay?
It's important to write it down.
As with all these steps,
All these steps. Okay, write it
there
down.
there is the different sensory processes that you go through. You think of something is one thing. You say it, it's another thing. But if you say what you thought, you've now reinforced it once. If you write it down, you're doing it a third time, and you're making a connection through your, through the mind, through the body,
All right.
and it helps reinforce it.
And I've heard that from many people. I mean,
Right.
So
I'm not the only one.
people talk about journaling, and they, for that very same reason,
Right.
they're talking about how they get in touch with certain feelings. Yeah.
Okay. And what you're doing with this is to start forming your vision of what you want your life to be like.
All right.
Because it doesn't matter how you travel if you don't care where you go. But if you have a destination you want to go to, you're thinking about that. It's not the correct quote, but it's pretty close.
Was that a quote? I was thinking, man, that's really deep, Tom. That's great. Man.
I wish I thought of some of this stuff myself.
I take
can't
credit
really take
for it. It
no.
doesn't matter to
No,
you.
that's true. You don't.
Yeah. What would I know?
But anyway, actually, it's out of Alice in Wonderland. Where
Is it
she
really?
asks this Cheshire Cat how to get to the city.
Ha ha ha. He says
She
it's
says, "Well, do you know where you're going?" He says, "No, it doesn't matter how you go, what path you take then."
It really doesn't.
So, but once you have that vision, so all of a sudden things start clarifying. Because you're not going to, when you look back at the list a week later or a year later, a lot of those things are going to be irrelevant to you, but you might have added 20 things on there since. But it starts focusing you to a specific goal.
Okay.
All right? And then you start developing a vision. You say, okay, I can see this. Now, I am going to recommend a book. It was written, in the 20s maybe? Think and Grow Rich. by
All right.
Yeah, by Napoleon Hill. It's a classic in the, how to visualize and how to, he started off as an insurance salesman and turned an incredibly wealthy person.
Napoleon Hill.
Yes.
Hill. Hill.
Yeah,
Napoleon Hill.
It's a classic. It's still in print. It's still recommended by, you hear all these motivational speakers. They'll almost all say, you got to read Think and Grow Rich.
Okay.
Yeah, it is not outdated. It's still a very good thing to read.
Well, I suspect that most of what we do is not outdated in the sense of mankind has been doing these things for as long as there's been mankind. We've
Right.
we've been planning. We've been thinking about how to get to where we want to go.
But amazingly enough, most people don't give it that much thought. They think, I need to get a job, I need to make some money, and then if I get a little extra money, then maybe we can get a house. And,
Yeah.
But otherwise from that, there isn't, I read this one article and it said most people spend more time choosing the clothes they're going to wear at the start of the day than they do what job they're going to take.
I think that's right.
Yeah. Hey, they're hiring down at the mill. Oh, okay.
I go to work for the mill for 30 years later. I work in the mill,
Yeah.
which is not bad, but yeah.
But self-employed people are not cut of that cloth. The fact that you're even watching this tutorial means that you have a mindset that's much different. You're
Yeah.
looking and you're planning. And part of the planning process is the goal setting. And like I said, we're going to start with you. Now, the inventory of, you take, once you got the vision for
All right,
you say,
all
okay,
right.
I can see myself. And the visioning process is very important too. You have to, you sitting there in the easy chair of the house that you want, in the entertainment center that you want.
Okay.
Or sitting on the beach somewhere in Turkey or the Mediterranean,
All right.
swimming, and you actually see that in your mind. Because what the mind can hold and behold can achieve.
Okay.
Napoleon Hill.
No, I
Yeah.
agree with you, though. I mean, I
And
absolutely
I've
agree
used
with
this throughout my life, not my whole life as a kid,
Yeah.
you know, when I was back in college in my hippie days, you know, I didn't want anything.
Well,
You
let's
know,
face
I
it.
said I didn't want anything. I didn't want to accumulate anything. And then 10 years later, I looked and I said, geez, I'm ahead of schedule.
Yeah. And
You know, I've achieved it.
Nothing. I've got
But I think
nothing.
it's time for a new plan.
Yeah, dude. Well, exactly. Yeah, I think we all, when we're growing up, and I think that you're right when people want to go into business. We certainly talk about that net profit, but we also, but it's a game. In a way, it's a game. We want to succeed on the plane of life, really.
Yeah.
And so,
Well, like I put in my bio for our website that we put up, and that is that I'm an entrepreneurial junkie. I like the rush.
yeah, exactly.
I'm getting too old for contact sports.
Exactly.
So-
Exactly. It's kind of an adult game. It certainly gives you a chance to be on that level playing field with the marketplace, and
Yeah.
it's fun.
And one of the first businesses I got involved with, I remember the guy who ran the franchise, and he said, starting a business is heady stuff. And it is.
It is.
know,
It is. And you know, as a lawyer, you know, it's all about the deal. It's all about the deal. And you know, selling where you talk about selling things. Well, lawyers sell things. I mean, we sell the deal. And
Sell the
that's-
deal, right.
And be that a criminal plea or a resolution to a civil case or a divorce, it's still a deal.
Right.
Yeah.
So now you've visualized where you want to be, all right? Now you go, okay, how do I get there? You now have a destination. So now you set the path. Now, one of the things you have to do, and this is one of the,
Okay.
no,
I'm
we
sorry,
don't
sorry,
necessarily
I'm
have to
sorry.
meditate a little bit on
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
but you have to take an inventory of yourself.
Okay.
Okay, what are your strengths and weaknesses? You know, how important is your family life to you? Because trust me, folks, if you go into self-employment, a lot of times family will suffer.
We've talked about
Yeah.
this. We've talked about this before, Tom, and that's exactly right.
And
It takes
so-
hours and hours and hours, and it's okay.
Yeah.
Because if you're a happier person, then your family can be happier too. But you have to know it's going to take hours and hours and hours.
Right, and you can't you're going to have to make that up. If you have children, you need to make time.
That's right.
And so you need to schedule. You know, one of my clients, my favorite quote, I love the flexibility of being self-employed. I can work any 70 hours a week I want to.
yeah.
You know, and actually that is in some
that is-
degree is true.
It is true.
Yeah.
You can go to your kid's ball game at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You may have to go back to work.
At 9 o'clock at night.
yep.
And, yeah, but for me, I was okay with that. You know, it was nice and quiet, and I got a lot more work done. So, you know, analyze your family life. How is it going to affect your relationship with your wife or your significant other? And how you're going to develop your professional part of your life, your career. You got this thing going. Are you going to be, Jim and I have continuing ed classes to take, and both Jim and I are learning junkies.
Yeah,
You know, we're
that's right.
constantly reading different things. You know, my pet study is quantum physics. You know, I do that for fun.
Yeah.
So imagine how bad my life is right now for my social life. You know, how good is your health? Because there's a lot of stress when you're self-employed. You know, you're exercising, you got your weight down, you got your blood sugar under control. You know, these things are important. You know, what is you're going to do as far as your education and development for achieving your goals? Do you have the education that you need? Do you need to take seminars? Do you need classes? Do you maybe need to work for somebody in that business to develop more knowledge? Knowledge is power when
It
you're in
is.
business.
It absolutely
And
is.
the more you know, the better off you are. So, you know, Jim and I do one tutorial called The 7 Sins of the Self-Employed.
Yeah.
One of the biggest ones is getting into a business you don't know enough about.
You know nothing about.
And
Yeah.
I've
Yeah,
done
and I
that,
have too. I
yeah,
have
and
too.
it was
I
a
did
total
too.
disaster. You
Yeah.
know. I'm still paying bills from that 10 years later
Yeah.
type
Exactly.
thing. And then also the spiritual part of your life, you know, however you want that manifest in your life, whether it be a church or synagogue, whatever it is that important to you? And you need to coordinate that within how you structure your business.
Absolutely.
Okay,
I think so.
So like
And
I said,
you have to devote a little bit of time to the spiritual side of life.
right. Now,
Okay.
the
we
hardest part, we're going to go, you need to be a self-starter.
ready? Ooh.
You are not going to have anybody tell you what to do, how to do, when to do it. You have to do it on your own. You have to set your plan. You have to motivate yourself. this is where the visualization comes into play in the writing down of everything. Because when times get down, I would, and I'd have a bad week or a bad month or even a bad day, I'd pull out my chart and see how I progressed, from 5 years ago to today, how much, service revenues have increased and my client base has increased. And I take a deep breath and say, okay, I'm on track with where I want to go. This is just an anomaly. Things aren't linear when you're in business. If you have a multi-billion-dollar corporation, things are pretty solid. It's not
Right.
going to drop below a certain level, and it's probably not going to go much above a certain level. And there's more of a cush. But when you're self-employed, it's like a roller coaster ride sometimes. One day you can't make the mortgage, and the next day you're thinking of buying a new car.
Right.
And vice versa.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like talking about the economy, the national economies, and talking about, well, you can't stop an aircraft carrier on a dime, but you can heel over a sailboat and turn it, and you
Yeah.
can. And so that's a kind of an analogy. Absolutely.
Didn't make any sense, but it's an
Didn't,
analogy.
didn't that make sense? Well, like so much of wisdom that goes by here,
That's
it's
what makes us
misunderstood.
Yeah, that's what makes a sage. It's like, what did he say?
Yeah. This all,
Yeah.
they-
And another thing, as you get into some of this, is keeping up affirmations in your life. We tend to beat ourselves up. Oh God, did I do a stupid thing today? And I
okay.
did this, and this isn't going to work. This is going to be bad. You have to have mantras like, this is working for me. I'm achieving my goals. My
So you
plan
mean
is
say,
working.
you actually say
Oh,
it.
actually say it to yourself,
Actually
yes.
sit down and say it to yourself.
Yeah, you take time out. You just don't, because otherwise, who else is gonna do it for you?
No one will do it for
I have some great clients, and occasionally people will go, "Gee, that was a really good job, Tom. Thanks."
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, they look at the bill and they go, "Oh, okay." Write me the check and they're gone. Now, for me, that's enough.
Right.
The strokes, they're kind of nice, but
Yeah.
but if you don't have a way to do that, you'll start getting into a downwards spiral. It leads to depression, and
Yeah.
it starts leading to other things, drug and alcohol, and all of a sudden they become your best friend because you've stopped being your own best friend. So
Okay.
I believe it's very important, positive affirmations for yourself all the time.
And in small business, it certainly has been my experience that in the regular business world, one of the nicest things and one of the cheapest things for any employer to do, which is kind of if you're an employer and you have employees, is to tell them, nice job, very good job.
Yeah, hey.
Because that is an affirmation of their employment skills and their, and it feels good. I think there's nothing cheaper than a pat on the back as far as keeping employees happy.
Right.
And a lot of employees value that kind of workplace more than they do working somewhere else for a dollar
Plus,
more
you got to
hour.
be sincere about it.
Well, sure.
Yeah, they're
Oh,
going to
sure.
know if you're blowing smoke up there.
Well,
yeah.
you can, yeah, exactly. You can't. You have to be consistent. I mean, you're bitching at them, I guess. So, oops, like you're telling them that maybe they didn't do a good job, and then so you need to do that for yourself.
Yeah.
Got to
So
pat
now-
yourself on the back.
Yeah. Now, once you have these things in place, now you can take. You've got the vision. You've got a plan for yourself. You've coordinated what's important in your life. Now you're ready for your business plan, your business goals.
Business
Because
goals.
now you know what you need to accomplish. And you can say, okay, now in order for me to accomplish that, I need X amount of revenues, all right, to make this happen. I have enough to put in for retirement. I have enough for vacation. We have enough for a modest but very nice house and nice, adequate cars. It doesn't have to be lavish. I don't believe in a lavish lifestyle. Obviously,
Obviously.
yeah. But so you get, so you know what you need to take out of the business for yourself. This is a very key ingredient, because now you can back into that and say, okay, in order for me to take that out means, first of all, I got to cover all my fixed expenses: rent, utilities, phone, basic insurance costs, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, advertising. Okay, so now that's another amount that you have to take in. Then you have to figure out what's your gross profit margin. We talk about this in other tutorials, how to collect that data and calculate it out. So then all of a sudden, okay, now I make a 50% out of everything I sell because I gotta, because I gotta pay for the product or have it made.
Sure.
So, so out of every $1,000 I sell, $500 is left over to cover overhead and what I need to take out of it.
Yeah.
So if you need $5,000 for yourself, $5,000 for overhead, that's $10,000 you need to take out. You need to do $20,000 a month in sales. All right. All right. You go, oh, okay. How much did I do last month? 3,000.
Yeah.
So we need to do something here. We either need to change how much needs to come out or we have to increase sales. But at least you know what the demon looks like, the size
right.
of the demon. So, okay, well, if I need to do $20,000 in sales, how do I get there?
How do I get there?
How do I get there? Yeah. And so then you take an inventory of your business. What are the strengths of your business, which is you and your employees and the product that you're selling or the services you're providing. And you go through the same process. Another visualization of what you want the business to do.
Are
And
we
you have
writing
very
this down?
specific
Are we
ones.
still writing this down?
We're still writing it down.
Writing it down.
Because this leads to the business plan.
Okay.
And the business plan is a written plan. It doesn't have to be elaborate, but it covers things like this. Okay, I need to generate $20,000 a month sales. I can't do that all year long, but in some months I can do $30,000. But as long as it averages $20,000 for the year, I can accomplish my goals. How many customers do you have to contact? How many people do you have to talk to? How many business cards do you have to hand out? What kind of advertising you need to do? Does the marketplace that you're in have enough to do that? Maybe you need to change your business plan and add a product line or change some of the services you provide to get to that point.
And that includes dropping, getting rid of as well as adding.
Yeah, I remember one year and my receivables were getting real bad and I was, I'm going, what am I doing here? And so I developed my mantra when all the people who didn't pay me had a certain background or common characteristics that they all had. And so I developed a mantra that I said was lose the losers.
How rude.
Well, but it was true.
But it's true.
Yeah. And it was like I was doing all the work for them and I was spreading the cost to my best paying clients because they're the ones
Basically,
paid.
you aren't. That's right.
And so what I wound up doing was, okay, I was actually able to give discounts to my best clients rather than absorbing and getting more revenues that way because they were getting more services because they're getting a better price. And then because I didn't have the receivables problems, my revenues actually went up and got rid of all the ones that were sucking away my time. So not all businesses are the same, but these are things you have to look at.
Yeah, Tom and I sell our time.
Yeah.
And other businesses may sell a
Yeah,
product.
we got
sales.
2,000 hours. That's our inventory for sale every year.
Mm-hmm.
And so I remember, people sometimes don't understand that. All of us have that inventory, that 2,200 hours approximately. If you don't take vacation, which a lot of self-employed people don't.
What's a vacation? But
I've heard the Europeans do it.
Yeah, I know.
They call it a holiday, though. They're on holiday.
aha,
Yes.
Yes.
Sounds like a very civilized way to live.
I think so
but-
too.
So, we tend to not look at our time and give it enough weight to it. One of the better books that I've read about financial planning, they did a great chart and it showed your age, broken down every 5 years, I think it was, and then your life expectancy at that age in hours.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then it said, okay, in order to buy this thing, whatever it is, like you like power tools, okay, you want to buy a new radial arm saw,
Okay,
it's going to be $500. And we go, okay, and you take home, $30 an hour, whatever it is.
All right.
Is it worth 20 hours of your life force to buy this thing? I gave this to my daughter and she goes, nothing's worth 20 hours of my life.
How old was she when you gave it to her?
She didn't-
18?
no, she's 20, 23, almost, yeah. But, because she liked to buy, clothes and stuff.
sure.
And then when I gave her that equation, she says, nothing's worth that of my life. My life is too precious. she loves life. You know, she's a
Sure.
lifelong learner. She reads. She's traveling around a lot now. So for her, it was a no-brainer. I don't need stuff then because I have to waste my life working to get it.
That's right. I'd rather travel.
So,
I'd rather live. You know,
yeah.
do this. Yeah.
So and it's a chart that I'm going to reproduce and give to my clients on a regular basis.
Oh, I
now.
think so.
Yeah, because it is really telling. And as you get older, you look how few hours you have left, and you're going, ooh, this is what do I want to be doing with that time?
That's true. That's true.
So,
Although as we get older, I also the lure of the self-employment is always it seems stronger than ever. But you know, like being in charge. So even if you're told what to do by everybody else in the world, you still I'm in charge. You know?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the control has always been an illusion.
That's
but, yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
So, but so now, so we have this business. We have goals. You know, it's kind of like this funnel. We started up here. You know, it's called the apex of the pyramid.
Apex,
Yeah.
apex.
And that is the final vision. You know,
Okay.
the golden eye, the all-seeing eye type thing. You know, where we want to
Okay.
be and where we want to go. We now know, you know, the important things and we have in life to get to there. You know, physical, spiritual, professional, educational, health-wise.
How much time do we want to spend?
Yeah, you know,
What do we wanna take
what's
home?
important to us. You know,
much-
and that is one of the beauties of being self-employed. You can decide what is important to you. You don't have to be dictated to as far as we are going to contribute to the United Way this year and we're going to take so much out of your, how much do you want to donate out of your paycheck each month for that?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, you can make those decisions, what's important to you. And then, so what it's going to cost to support that lifestyle, what it's going to take in your time and energy to be able to work at what you're doing to make that. And then you back it into the business plan. And once again, we're going to write down these steps and write out these goals. And now the business has, you do the visualization process with the business too, where you see and you look and you see the customer amounts and you actually watch yourself writing the checks for the draws that you take out of the business. And it works magic.
And you do it again every year
Or every month, you know.
Thank you, Tom. It's a great topic, and we need to do this. Really, we need to do it. So, thanks a lot.